Godzilla vs. Loki, Magic vs. Monster Destruction. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the most epic, what-if, battles of all time. Today, we're tackling a showdown that's been fueling debates in comic shops and online forums alike. Godzilla, the colossal king of the monsters, versus Loki, the cunning god of mischief. T-Rex high-voltage magic wand can raw, unstoppable force triumph over trickery and magic? Let's find out. Grab your favorite snack, get comfy, and let's jump right into this epic clash. First things first, we're setting the stage for an unprecedented face-off between two iconic characters from entirely different universes. It's East meets West, mythology meets modernity, and we're here for all of it. Godzilla, the king of the monsters. Let's start with the big guy himself, Godzilla. T-Rex volcano. So, a quick rundown for those new to the Godzilla universe. Welcome aboard. Godzilla made his grand debut in 1954, emerging as a symbol of nuclear destruction in post-war Japan. Over the decades, he's become a pop culture icon, starring in countless films and facing off against an array of monstrous adversaries. Godzilla isn't just any giant monster. He's a force of nature, an ancient alpha predator awakened and mutated by nuclear radiation. Think of him as nature's checks and balances against threats that endanger the planet. Now, let's talk powers, because this dude's got some serious firepower, literally. His signature move? The atomic breath. It's a concentrated beam of radioactive energy that can slice through buildings, vaporize enemies, and has even been shown to reach outer space in some iterations. Talk about breath control, but that's not all. Godzilla's physical strength is off the charts. He can toss monsters his own size, smash through any obstacle, and has a tail swipe that can level city blocks. Plus, his durability is insane. Bullets, missiles, lasers, they're like pesky flies to him. And if he does get hurt, no worries, he's got accelerated healing to bounce back. Godzilla's resume is pretty stacked. From taking down the three-headed King Ghidorah to battling the mechanical menace Mechagodzilla, he's faced threats that would send most creatures running. Each battle showcases not just his might but also his tenacity and sometimes even a strategic side when dealing with other kaiju. But here's the flip side. Godzilla operates primarily on instinct. He's driven by ancient impulses and territoriality. He's not one for elaborate plans or strategies. He sees a threat, he smashes it. Simple as that. Loki, the god of mischief. Now onto our favorite silver-tongued Asgardian, Loki. Magic wand person in suit levitating. For those who've kept up with the Marvel universe, you know Loki is a complex character with a flair for the dramatic. Born to the frost giants and adopted by Odin, Loki grew up in Asgard alongside his brother Thor. Always feeling like the outsider, he's spent a good chunk of his life trying to prove himself, often through less than honorable means. Loki's not just about evil schemes, though. He's a character with depth, driven by a desire for identity, recognition, and maybe a little bit of chaos thrown in for good measure. When it comes to abilities, Loki's got the magic game on lock. He's a master sorcerer with powers that include casting illusions, teleportation, shape-shifting, and even mind control. His illusion casting isn't just party tricks. He can create entire scenarios that are indistinguishable from reality. Physically, he's no slouch either. As an Asgardian, and with frost giant lineage, he possesses superhuman strength, speed, and durability, though not quite at Thor's level. Plus, he's incredibly intelligent, a tactical genius who often stays 10 steps ahead of his opponents. Loki's also wielded some powerful artifacts, like the scepter with the Mind Stone and the Tesseract. With these, his power levels can skyrocket. Over the course of his story, Loki has pulled off some legendary feats, from orchestrating the invasion of Earth to manipulating events across the 9 realms. He's tricked gods, outwitted heroes, and escaped seemingly impossible situations. But let's not forget his Achilles heel, his ego and frequent underestimation of others. His overconfidence has landed him in hot water more than once, but hey, that just adds to his charm and unpredictability. Setting the stage for battle. Now, how do these two worlds collide? Picture this. A sprawling metropolis that sits atop a convergence point of mystical energies. Think Tokyo meets Asgard. Loki, in his endless quest for power, and maybe a bit bored, discovers an ancient relic hidden in this city that could amplify his magical abilities exponentially. However, Tapping into this relic sends ripples of energy across the globe, awakening Godzilla from his slumber. The king of the monsters senses a disruption in the natural order, a threat that must be neutralized. And just like that, the stage is set for an epic clash between magic and monster. Comparing strengths and weaknesses. Time to stack them up against each other. Godzilla's strengths. Massive physical strength. He can level cities without breaking a sweat. Atomic breath. A devastating ranged attack that can obliterate nearly anything. Durability and regeneration. Tough hide, rapid healing. He's built to last. Amphibious abilities. Mastery over land and sea. Godzilla's weaknesses. Limited cognitive abilities, not exactly a Mensa candidate. Relies on instinct. Susceptibility to extreme energy attacks. Can be overwhelmed by powerful enough forces. Size. As much as it's a strength, it also makes him a big target. Loki's strengths. Mastery of magic, illusions, energy blasts, telekinesis, you name it. Strategic genius. A master planner who can manipulate situations to his advantage. Shape-shifting and invisibility. Can evade and confuse opponents with ease. Artifact usage. Proficiency with powerful relics that can boost his abilities. Loki's weaknesses. Physical frailty compared to Godzilla. Can't take as much direct damage. Overconfidence. Tends to underestimate his enemies. Emotional turmoil. His need for validation can cloud his judgment. The battle unfolds. Let's dive into how this epic battle might play out. Initial encounter. As Loki begins channeling energy from the relic atop a skyscraper, the ground trembles. Godzilla arrives, towering over the cityscape, his dorsal fins glowing ominously. Loki gazes upon the massive creature with a mix of awe and disdain. Well, they do say size isn't everything, he quips. Clash of powers. Godzilla unleashes a thunderous roar, followed by a blast of atomic breath aimed straight at Loki. But Loki vanishes in a puff of green smoke, reappearing on Godzilla's shoulder. Missed me, he taunts. He conjures daggers made of pure magic, stabbing them into Godzilla's neck. Godzilla thrashes, attempting to swat Loki away, but the trickster keeps teleporting, creating multiple decoys to confuse the beast. Turning points. Frustrated, Godzilla releases a nuclear pulse, a shockwave of energy emanating from his body. The blast disintegrates the illusions and knocks Loki through several buildings. Shaken but undeterred, Loki realizes brute force won't cut it. He summons creatures from other realms to distract Godzilla. Giant serpents and shadowy behemoths swarm the area. Godzilla, ever the apex predator, engages the new foes, but this gives Loki time to prepare a binding spell. Critical moments. As Godzilla defeats the last of the summoned creatures, massive, enchanted chains erupt from the ground, wrapping around his limbs. Godzilla struggles as Loki hovers above, intensifying the spell. See? Even a beast like you can be tamed, Loki declares, confidence soaring. But Godzilla's eyes blaze with primal fury. Drawing energy from deep within, he overloads the chains with atomic energy, causing them to shatter in a spectacular explosion. The backlash sends Loki spiraling. Final confrontation. Realizing he's outmatched in raw power, Loki opts for subterfuge. He casts an illusion to make himself appear as a colossal version of himself, matching Godzilla's size. The two giants face off, but Godzilla senses something's off. Ignoring the illusion, he homes in on the real Loki, charging up for a decisive atomic breath. With seconds to spare, Loki opens a portal beneath himself, escaping as the blast obliterates everything in its path. Outcome analysis. So, who comes out on top? Possible outcomes. Godzilla's victory. If the battle stays physical and direct, Godzilla's overwhelming power and durability give him the edge. A few well-placed atomic blasts could incapacitate Loki before he can execute a complex spell. Loki's victory. If Loki leverages his magical abilities to their fullest, avoiding direct confrontation, he could trap Godzilla in another dimension or find a way to neutralize him without engaging head-on. Factors to consider. Environment. In a city filled with resources for Loki to manipulate, he gains an advantage. In open terrain, Godzilla's raw power dominates. Preparation time. Given enough time to plan, Loki's strategic mind could concoct a winning strategy. Expert opinions. Team Godzilla. Fans argue that Godzilla's indomitable will and sheer destructive capabilities are too much for Loki to handle, especially if he can't land a critical magical blow. Team Loki. Others believe Loki's magical prowess and cunning would allow him to outsmart and outmaneuver Godzilla, turning the beast's strengths against him. At the end of the day, this hypothetical battle pits two very different types of power against each other. Godzilla represents the unstoppable forces of nature, raw, unyielding, and devastating. Loki embodies intellect, magic, and the unpredictable nature of chaos. The outcome? It's honestly up to how you interpret their abilities and the circumstances of the battle. And that's what makes these discussions so much fun. One thing's for sure, if these two ever did clash, it would be a spectacle for the ages and probably leave a considerable repair bill. So, what's your take? Does Godzilla's might crush Loki's mischief, or does the trickster god weave circles around the king of monsters? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this debate rolling. Fire if you enjoyed this breakdown, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more epic showdowns, and ring the notification bell so you're always in the loop. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Stay awesome. And I'll catch you in the next video where we'll explore another legendary clash you won't want to miss. Peace out, hand waving.